Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to our all. Vision of an education journey and the commencement of another more uncertain and more difficult part of man's quest for betters who have helped to organize and plan this commencement exercises. Thank you, ma'am and sirs. Your efforts are well appreciated. Welcome to the commencement exercise of Bhadruka College Postgraduate General, SGGPES, Sri Sri Kishan Bhadruka, Honorable Secretary, SGGPES, and the presiding officer of the convocation, the chief guest, Sri Srinivas Mahan.
चिदाकारमूलाधारौङ्कारगजवदनं परमं परमं भवापतिं भावये चिदाकारमूलाधारौङ्कारगजवदनं परमं परमं भवानन्दनर्तन गणपतिं भावये. Thank you.
Can we all welcome the assembled here? May I now call on Dr. Rajshekhar Reddy, Director BCPGC, to the dais.
Honorary Secretary Sri Kishan Bhadruka, Director General Professor Abhiram Krishna Garu, Chief Guest for today's event, Sri Srinivas Mahankali Rao Garu, CEO THEP Foundation, Hyderabad, Directors and Principals, Faculty Members, Staff, Graduate Students, and parents and media friends. A very good morning to you all. I extend a warm welcome to all of you to the MBA Graduation Day Ceremony of Bhadruka College Postgraduate Center. On behalf of MBA program, I would like to express our deep gratitude to our chief guest, Sri Srinivas Rao Garu, for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing the occasion today. I congratulate all the MBA graduates for successfully completing the 2-year program at Bhadruka Institute. I do understand that majority of you have already started your career in the corporate sector, so my best wishes to all of you for a successful career ahead. So what does this graduation day actually mean? It is indeed a momentous occasion in your life as you complete this phase of education. My understanding is that this marks the official conferment of MBA degree on you. So this MBA degree, in my personal view, is your license to operate. So why do I use this phrase license to operate is, while you will have full freedom to pursue a career of your choice or become an entrepreneur, this license to operate also sets limit on your behavior. So while I urge you to dream big and achieve greater glory, I would also request you to behave responsibly at your workplace and also in your personal life and respect the laws of the land and social norms. So as you make your transition from college life to work life, friends, what's in store for you? We all understand that we are currently living in the best of our times. There is economic prosperity, very easy access to technology, and we have all been enjoying widespread benefits of globalization. But there will be challenges in your path, and that could be manifested in the form of geopolitics, climate change, sustainability issues, and of course concerns about the technological advancement in artificial intelligence and their impact on mankind and so on. So how do you prepare for these challenges and make your life more meaningful? So I'm not here to give you GAN because you're already out of your MBA program. I think we have bored you enough. So I'll just share two simple things with you. The first one is, please be a continuous learner. Okay, there is no escape from continuous learning. Please understand that your juniors and sub-juniors who will come out of the colleges in the future will join the workforce with much advanced skills and knowledge. So it is imperative that you keep abreast of all the developments in your particular domain. And the second point I would like to share with you is pursue what you are passionate about. Okay, so dream big and take calculated risks. Okay, so it is better to fail early, friends, so that you can have adequate time and resources to recover and give a better shot at your goals. So you should not repent later that you haven't taken risks earlier in your life. And I am sure we'll have more insights on this aspect from our chief guest, Srinivas Rao Garu, who is the CEO of T-Hub. So friends, while you will be busy striving for success, fame and wealth in the coming years, please do remember to spend quality time with your parents, family members and friends, and if possible, try to help others in whatever way you can. So ensure that the foundations of your growth are based on ethics and values. I hope that your efforts as Bhattruka alumni will lead to positive social outcomes and help in nation building. So once again, I congratulate you on this graduation day, and I do hope that you will become true brand ambassadors of Bhattruka. So I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Heartwarming welcome speech and guidance to the students for their future. Now I take immense pleasure in requesting our revered Director General, Professor Avi Ramakrishna Sir, to address the gathering.
A true professional, an entrepreneur par excellence, an inspiring mentor, and a great human being, and my good friend Shri MSR Garu. As the chief guest, we welcome you to this graduation ceremony. Sri Kishan Bhadruka ji, our Honorary Secretary of SCGBS, Dr. Rajshekhar Reddy, Director, BCPGCC. My esteemed colleagues, proud parents, press and media, and most importantly, our distinguished MBA graduates of the Bhadruka College PG Center. Congratulations. Today marks a very momentous milestone in your lives. A culmination of 2 years of hard work, dedication, and relentless pursuit of excellence. As we gather here to celebrate your graduation, I am filled with an overwhelming sense of pride and admiration for each and every one of you. In this journey of pursuing your MBA, you have not only acquired knowledge, but also have developed invaluable skills that serve you as your compass in the corporate world. Most of you have been working in the organization the last couple of months. From strategic thinking to effective communication, from leadership to teamwork, you have honed your abilities to navigate the complexities of the business landscape with finesse and determination. Amidst the challenges and triumphs, there are few messages which I would like to convey to all of you today. The first is embrace change. The only constant in life, they say, is change. As you step into the professional realm, you will encounter an ever-changing, ever-evolving landscape that demands adaptability and agility. The role of artificial intelligence and machine learning and working with bots, like that, there are many changes that are happening in the corporate world. Through innovation, remember, it is amongst the most intelligent who survive. It is not the intelligent who survive, but the most adaptable. So I would like all of you to keep adapting to the change. So this is one message. The second message is lead with integrity. Leadership is not merely about holding a position of authority. It is about inspiring others to bring out the best in themselves. As future leaders, uphold the highest standards of integrity, ethics, and moral values in all your endeavors. Let your actions speak louder than words and lead by example with honesty, transparency, and empathy. Remember, true leadership is not about being in charge, but it is about taking care of those under your charge. As Dr. Rasikar said, the third message is continuous learning. Certification of MBA today has an end, but education is continuous. So I would urge all of you to continuously learn, unlearn, and relearn. The world is constantly evolving. Stay curious, stay hungry, and never cease to expand your horizons. Seek out new experiences, challenge the status quo, and remain committed to self-improvement. Remember, the mind is a parachute. It only functions when it is open. Armed with your MBA degree and fueled by your passion and determination, go forth and be the change makers, the innovators, and the leaders of the world which the corporate desperately needs. Make yourself proud, make your parents proud, your teachers proud, your college proud, your corporate proud, and finally the nation proud. All the best. Thank you.
Request Sri Kishan Badruka ji, Honorable Secretary, SGGBS, to address the August gathering.
A very good morning to you all. I deem it an honor and privilege to extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest of today's event, Mr. M. Srinivas Rao, CEO, T-Hub Foundation. Director General, Director and Principals, faculty members, staff, students, parents, friends, and members of the media. To the MBA Graduation Day event of Badruka College Post-Graduation Center. I would like to congratulate the graduates for their successful completion of 2-year MBA. My best wishes to you all for a very successful career ahead. I am sure all of you as Badruka alumni would continue to uphold our values and achieve many more laurels and bring glory to yourself and also to the Badruka institution. I would like to share with you very briefly the story of Badruka institutions. Late Sri Raja Venkatala Badruka was the founder of this great group of institutions on 2nd August 1950. The objective behind this initiative was to provide value-based, high-quality education at an affordable cost. Under his leadership, the institute, from its humble origin, has grown in strength to make its mark in higher education in Hyderabad. I would rather say in the entire state of erstwhile Andhra and now Telangana. His successor, Shri Hari Prasad Gopikishan Badruka, has developed Badruka Group into a highly respected and reputed educational group for the next 50 years. His vision, along with his principled life, uncompromising integrity and outstanding administrative ability, has enabled Badruka Group of institutions to reinforce its eminent position as the topmost college in the part of this region. During this time, the group developed into 4 constituent colleges, namely BCCA, that is Badruka College of Commerce and Arts, BBCIT, BCPG Center, and Badruka Junior College for Girls. Now we are coming up with a business school. It is a residential business school. Campus is coming at Medchal, and from this academic year, the business school will be operational. The admissions are going on there. We at BCPGC are continuing the rich legacy of late Shri Hari Prasad Badruka, who offered the students a very high quality education in business management. Based on the ethics and our value system, we continue to be the most preferred college for students in business management and enjoy a very high reputation with the corporate firms for placement. Our alumni over the years have distinguished themselves by occupying senior positions as in the corporate sector and government departments and contributing immensely towards nation building. As we celebrate your graduation day, I sincerely hope that all of you in the coming years would be taking up high responsibilities in your work and life and excel in them by leveraging the learnings from your MBA program. We are fortunate to have Mr. Srinivas Rao, our chief guest today. I would like to thank him for joining us today despite his busy schedule. He is a highly accomplished business leader and a visionary, and I am sure that all of us would benefit from his insights that he is going to share with us. I once again congratulate all of you and wish you the very best. I declare the MBA graduation day ceremony open. Thank you.
Wonderful speech. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to stand before you today and introduce our remarkable chief guest, Shri Srinivas Mahankali Rao, affectionately known as MSR, is the CEO of world's largest innovation hub, T-Hub. He is an IT industry veteran with over 36 years of experience. MSR has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Osmania University, Hyderabad, and an MBA from IIM Bangalore. His professional career spans 3 journeys. As an IT professional for 12 years between 1987 to 99, as an entrepreneur for over 22 years with 2 entities, being a partner of the promoter team at Network Solutions, a network and systems integration entity. He served on the board of directors. NetSol was eventually acquired by IBM in 2005. Then he co-founded Outjust Networks in 2008, a cybersecurity company that made waves. He was also the chief executive officer for the company, which was backed by Chirate Ventures, Ivy Cap Ventures, later acquired by NSE IT, a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Stock Exchange in March 2019. As an ecosystem builder since 2020, first as the CEO of GAME, otherwise known as Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship, a social impact entity, he focused on solving issues related to MSME sector between July 2020 to September 2021. Currently, he is with T-Hub, India's largest startup incubator. As the CEO of T-Hub, MSR wears many hats. T-Hub is no ordinary incubator. It's a bustling hub for startups, innovation and collaboration. Under MSR's leadership, T-Hub has grown from 200 startups to a whopping 7,000 plus. It's not just about startups, it's an entire ecosystem. So may I now request our chief guest, our esteemed chief guest, Shri Srinivas Mahankali Rao Garu, to deliver the graduation day address.
Good morning. First of all, Sri Krishna Badruka sir, Professor Abhirama Krishna, Dr. Rashake, thank you for having me here. And of course, to the parents, proud parents, the young students, the faculty members, the staff, members from the media. Real honor and privilege to be here on a Saturday morning and to see all bright young faces. They're all waiting for this to get over so they can toss their caps in the air. I know that. I've been through that before, so I can understand. So let me start with, first of all, asking you a question. So how's the Josh today? Can't hear you at all. So usually when I come into talk in colleges, usually I'm asked to talk about entrepreneurship, right? And why you should become an entrepreneur, how you should go about building a business and all of that. So today I decided I'll do something different, right? Because so let me first start with the story about my connection to Badruka, right? So I've known Professor Abhirama Krishna now for about 34 years. Okay, he happens to be a senior in college. I passed out in 1987, and he passed out in 1978. So he's my senior in college. Okay. So most of you obviously were not around, and maybe some of your parents also must have just been going to college at that time. That's one connection. The second connection is one of the companies I worked with was a company called Microland, which is still around. I don't know if any one of you has got placed in Microland. But back in, I think it was in 1992 or something like that, Badruka College set up a local area network. LAN, for those of you in IT. And I used to be the area manager in Microland in those days. So we executed that project. So I came here back in, I think, somewhere in end of 92, and I'm coming back here after 32 years. Right? So I'm so happy to hear about the tremendous progress made by the college. When just before I came in here, I was talking to Sri Krishna Garu and Professor Abhirama Krishna Garu and Rajshekhar Garu, and they were telling me about the 4 colleges, how many students graduate, and all of that. So really feel very honored, humbled, and privileged to be here. So today what I'm going to talk to you about is something different. I didn't want, as I said, to talk about why you should become an entrepreneur and all of that. So, but let's start with that question. How many of you want to become entrepreneurs? Few. Okay. I hope we'll talk about that separately, but I hope some more of you become entrepreneurs. Because if you ask me, the best career you can have is an entrepreneur. Okay. And we'll talk about that as we go along. But what I thought I'd do today, many of you, when Rajshekhar Garu reached out to me, he said all of you have graduated, all of you have got jobs. He also shared, I want to really meet the young man who's got an 18.7 lakh job. He said somebody's got placed. Undergrad, okay. So I'm sure all of you have got placed, and they told me that many of you have been hired by the big consulting firms, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, EY, and so on. So what I thought is, I'm assuming the average age of this team here sitting in front of me must be somewhere between 22 to 24, 25. And as you can see, looking at me and Professor, all of us have continued to now work for about anywhere between 37 to 45 years, right? So you have a long career ahead of you, right? And what I thought is I'll share some lessons from my life and some give you some, please don't call it gyan, I'm not trying to, I don't like that word much, but share with you some lessons about my journey and about how you can build a meaningful career where you do well for yourself, you have a responsibility to do well for others, you have a responsibility to support, and like your Director General, your Honorary Secretary, and Professor Abhirama Krishna said, you're all incredibly lucky, you're all incredibly privileged to be here in this room. So first of all, a big shout out to all your parents and your families for their support in getting you to this place. Give them a big hand. Without their support, I don't think you would have got here. So remember that the 2 things which will sustain you in your life, irrespective of how you do in your career, are one is family and second is friends. Okay? And I'm sure many of you would have also made lifelong friends here as part of this journey. And that's something which you must cultivate and keep in touch. It's much easier for you compared to my generation, and I'm going to take a subtle dig at Professor Abhirama Krishna, his generation, because we didn't have social media those days. Right? The only way you could get in touch was by making a call on landline. Right? It's different now. We didn't have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of that. So let me spend a few minutes talking to you about some some, some perspective, some insights on how you can build a meaningful career. Okay. So first of all, congratulations for all of you for getting the job. Sorry, congratulations. I'm used to working. Congratulations for all of you for getting placed. I know it's a very big milestone, but I also want to tell you that as you go forward in life, remember one thing: you are not your job. Your sense of identity is not tied to your job. So, for example, you could become head of marketing or head of finance or something else, CEO at some point. You are not your job. You have an identity outside of your job. And what are those identities? You have an identity as a son or a daughter. Okay, you have an identity as a brother or a sister, for example. You have an identity as a friend. You have an identity as someone who contributes to the community, right? You have several identities, so you are not your job. So remember, one of the things which many of us sometimes tend to feel is, if we are doing well in our job, we are on a high. If we are doing not so well in our job, or today, like despite everything which is happening, remember the world is going through tremendous churn and change. Who would have imagined 4 years ago we would have COVID? Who would have imagined 4 years ago we would have the Russia-Ukraine war? Who would have imagined now Israel and Hamas and Israel and Iran will be going at each other, etc. So today, there's a interesting dichotomy here. We globalize, so we get more connected. So while we get more connected, it's good for us, but it opens up opportunities for us elsewhere. But at the same time, you're also exposed to influences outside which could have a profound impact on you. So the most important thing is, please focus not just on your job, but building a meaningful identity which makes sure you're a responsible citizen, you're a good sibling, you're a good son or daughter to your parents, and you also contribute very meaningfully to society. Can you move on to the next slide? Okay. Now, I think again, congratulations to all of you to have gone through the rigor of an MBA program. First of all, I'm sure getting in to Bhadruka would have not been easy because you have to write an exam to get in, which is competitive. Then I'm sure all of you have to work hard to make sure you do well academically, then get placed and so on. But there are a few things which I wanted to leave you with. So first of all, and I'm going to again step back in time. How many of you here are joining IT jobs? How many of you here are engineers? Okay, a few, right? So I remember when we were growing up, so the programming languages one learned were languages which I'm sure you may have heard of but wouldn't have worked on. So we learned something called BASIC, we learned something called COBOL, we learned something called Pascal, we learned something called Fortran. Do any of these names ring any bells at all? No, right? You would have learned Java, which is also a form of coffee, right? You would have learned about one snake, Python, and so on, right? Or you would have learned about R, and in between some of you would have how many of you have learned C or C++? Some of you, right? So now the reason I make that point is technology will change. Today we live in a world where technology is going through seismic shifts. How many of you use ChatGPT? Sir, you allow ChatGPT to be used? Okay. So one thing I want to tell you before you this thing, I have not used ChatGPT to make this, okay? Just in case, right? By the way, I tend to like Gemini more than I like ChatGPT, but that's a different thing. So the reason I made that point is that today, I think Professor Abhiram Krishna said, Dr. Rajshekar Reddy said and Sri Krishna Garu said, change is constant. Okay? So you will have to keep learning new things. What was relevant in those days will not be relevant now. Right? So for example, let's say if you go back in time 20 years ago, we didn't have e-commerce. We didn't have a Swiggy, a Zomato, or Zepto, or Blinkit, or whatever. Right? You had to, if you wanted something, you had to go somewhere and get it. Right? Similarly, if you wanted to get treated, you had to go to a hospital and see a doctor. You didn't have online visual consultation, video consultation, and so on. So the point I'm making is, there are three things which you require to become successful, in my view. One is knowledge. I'm sure which you would have got abundance of it in your MBA program. Second is skills, which is also a critical element. But the most important and determining factor for you as you go ahead in life is attitude. Okay. If you have the right attitude, you can acquire knowledge and build new skills. Right? And you have to, so like I think was emphasized, learning is a constant, never-ending process. Okay? And the only way you can move forward is, as I think Professor Abhirama Krishna said, keep the windows of your mind open. Be open to learning. Learning doesn't stop after an MBA. First. And I'm going to also tell you about another theory which I read about, which said the utility of an MBA diminishes after 7 years. Because new things happen. Right? So after 7 years, the sheen of saying I went to Badruka College or I went to some other college wears off, because then it is what you've done in those 7 years which will determine how you go ahead in life. Right? So I think focus on a learning attitude. Okay. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question before we go there, and it's not here. How many of you have read a book called Man's Search for Meaning? Only one? Two? Okay. One request. I know today we are all time challenged. Okay, we don't have time to read and all that. But if there's one book you should read, right, is please read this book called Man's Search for Meaning. Okay. This is a book by a guy called Viktor Frankl, F-R-E-N-K-L, freely downloadable. You don't have to go to torrent and download or whatever. You can get it. It is about a guy who was sent to a concentration camp back in somewhere in the 1940s, sent to a German concentration camp, and how he went through and found purpose. See, the most important thing for all of us, right, is about finding purpose and finding meaning in what you do. Okay. So the purpose of an MBA is not necessarily only to get a good job. That's one of the purposes, right? But is to make a difference. Right? And as you go forward, it's about doing. If you do well for yourself, right, you also impact a lot of people. Okay. And you have to focus on making the world a better place. Okay. So I'm going to ask you the next question. How many of you are aware of this UN SDG goals? SDG goals? No, parents not allowed. Teachers and faculty are not allowed. Only one? Folks, this is a little alarming. Okay, so the UN SDG goals are social development goals. There are 17 goals. They are to do with food, water, shelter, livelihoods, economic diversity, equity, inclusion, and so on. And today we live in an unequal world. Okay, we are, even in this room, you guys are all privileged. Okay, because your parents put you. So today, we have a situation in the world where there are the haves are doing well, the have-nots are struggling, right? So one of the challenges we have is to create. I use this word called the purpose of any business has to be to create profit, but it has to have purpose. Okay. Without purpose, either as people or as businesses, you will not survive. Okay. So I think it's very, very important for all of us to find purpose in what we do. Okay. If there's purpose in what you do, okay, the chances are you'll do it well. Okay, because you understand why you're doing something. You're not doing something because somebody is asking you to do it, because it's something which is close to your heart. So find purpose. A few things which I find with young people, particularly join the workforce. I think some lessons which I felt I can share with you. This is an extremely important thing. There may be better than somebody else. Okay? In some aspects, they may be better than you in some other aspects. But the one thing is, treat everyone as equal. Okay? If there's one thing which I've learned, which is very important for you to do well, is to learn to be humble. Just because you have an MBA, very good, but it doesn't make you a superior being than the rest of the planet. Next slide. Okay. We are all constantly searching for a ladder, right? Which is, I've started here, some of you would have started at some level. How many of you had any work experience before coming to MBA? Okay, that's a good number. Okay. So the people who had some work experience before coming to an MBA, compared to those who came straight from college to MBA, sometimes may be placed at a slightly higher level than people who are just entering the workforce. But remember one thing, there's no such thing as a career ladder. Each one of us has to make his own way, make his own path. Okay. Next slide. Okay. And I think this is extremely important, which is when you do things for others and you are not only thinking obsessively about yourself, you become the ladder. So I'm going to give you one example. What happens on October 2nd? Gandhi Jayanti. You know Gandhi, right? That old dude who used to wear those funny looking glasses. Right? Okay. So, did Gandhi have any formal position? Was he president, prime minister or anything? Huh? No? Are you sure? Sure, right? Is there some doubt? Okay. So Gandhi, the only position Gandhi had was the president of the Congress party. Okay. All of you have heard of this guy called Nelson Mandela? All of you? How long was he in prison? Huh? No, sir, you're not allowed to answer. Let's ask the students. How long was Nelson Mandela in prison? Any guesses? Huh?
21
Okay, he went to prison in 1960. Okay, into a place called Soweto, and he was released in 1990. 30 years in prison. Okay, the minute he came out of prison, then he became, South Africa, whatever. So what I'm trying to tell you is, it is not necessary for you to have a formal title to do something. All of us think if we are the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, the president, the secretary or something, we can do something. There are lots of things you can do just by sheer force of what I call moral authority. Okay. So for example, one more question I'm going to ask you. How many of you have done any volunteering? That's nice. Okay. How many of you have not done any volunteering? Come on, put your hands up. It's okay. Huh? Please volunteer. Because when you volunteer, right, it's just an indication that you're doing something selflessly for somebody else without any expectation of any give back or return. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot. So if there's one thing I could do, for example, if I had an opportunity to do, I would tell people, please volunteer. And volunteering doesn't require, all it requires is a few hours of time. Could be, for example, I know we have so many preoccupations around us, right? We have to spend time on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever else. I don't know what are the other newer things in social media. But if you can carve out even 2 hours a week or 1 hour a week, for example, and go and teach somebody, right? That is volunteering. Right? And believe me, the sense of satisfaction you'll get by doing something for somebody without expectation of return is it will beat any amount of money which you get. Okay, so I hope at some point, if after this, Sri Krishna ji allows me to come back here, right? Because I'm saying a bunch of things which may not be normally spoken about. If I ask you how many of you volunteered, I'll see more hands. One. Okay, move on. Okay. Now this is extremely important. Okay. So it takes a while for young people, once they start getting into the workforce, okay, to figure out how to become professional. Okay. And I'm going to give you two stories which I heard from the first boss I had. Okay. So I've had the privilege of working with many bosses. Unfortunately, many of them went to IIM, including Professor Abhiram. So the first boss I had was a gentleman called V. Ransome. He's batch of 73 from IIM Ahmedabad. Okay. So we used to have many conversations. He was a wonderful boss to have, mentor, guide, philosopher, friend, all of that. So we were working on an assignment together. Something happened, it didn't go well, and I was obviously feeling very depressed. It didn't go well. So then he said, okay, let's catch up for a cup of chai in the evening. Okay, so we kept caught up, and we used to have, our Prime Minister made it chai pe charcha. I used to do chai pe charcha with my boss. Okay, so he said, so we got talking, and then he asked me, please define what is professional. Can you define for me? So I gave him answers. So let me ask somebody here. Define a professional for me. What is a professional? Anyone? Sorry? Skilled in a particular field. And follows? Ethics? Anyone else? Work-life balance. Professionals have to maintain work-life balance. Anyone else? Anyone else? No one? Okay. So the definition he gave me, and that's something which I remember every single day, even after 37 years, is a professional is someone who does a good job on a bad day. Okay. Think about this. Very simple. A professional is someone who does a good job on a bad day. So you may be going through all kinds of issues. You may be having financial challenges, you may be having relationship challenges, you may have had a fallout with a colleague, okay, or you may have had a difference of opinion with somebody, whatever. But what is really important is someone who is focused on getting things done, meeting deadlines and getting the job done. Right? So just remember, if there's 1 month I'd like you to carry away from this, remember, every single day ask yourself, have I been professional today? Think about it. It's very powerful. Next, please. Okay. This is another one which I think is important. Again, it ties into what I've been talking about volunteering. Right? Many of you have already started working. So you are asked, how many of you have already been given KRAs, KPIs and all those fancy things you learn in HR? OKR, objective key result areas, key performance indicators, key result areas, all of that. Some form you would have filled, no? Huh? All of that. So, and all of them will have a point system, no? For somebody will ask, sir, next year I want to get promoted. If I want to get promoted, what do I have to do? So people will have some 4-point or 5-point rating scale. Outstanding, exceeds expectations, meets expectations, unsatisfactory and poor. Right? So obviously nobody wants to be unsatisfactory and poor, because in general, unsatisfactory and poor will be asked to walk out of the door. So you want to be rated outstanding, or you want to be rated as exceed expectations. That will determine the height you get, the possibility of a promotion and all of that stuff. Now, how many of you here are in sales? No? How many? Only 2 or 3? No, now, after this MBA job. How many? Most of you are in consulting? Okay, fine. So So ask yourself, have you gone and asked your boss, do this exercise? And tell them somebody asked you to do it so that they can blame me later. Go back and ask your boss, sir, next year for me to get an outstanding rating, okay, what do I have to do to get an outstanding rating? Okay. Believe me, if you go and ask your boss, okay, any one of you, whether whoever the boss is, go back and say, sir or madam, if I have to be rated as outstanding, okay, what do I have to do? So it's very easy in college, because in college one metric is your whatever GPA or you have GPA score 10 or 10, right? So if you get 9, maybe you're outstanding. 8 or 9 is very good, and so on. But please go and ask your boss, okay, sir, what do I have to do in this job to be rated as outstanding? Okay, has anyone done that today so far? If you gone and asked your boss, you asked your boss.
I got rated also.
You got rated also. Very good. What did you get rated as? Outstanding. Exactly, right? Great. Thank you. Thank you for supporting my argument. Okay. Right? So remember, it's not about just doing what you've been asked to do or what the job do, right? But if you do something which is over and above the job, okay, which has a profound influence not just on what you're doing, but also on your group, your division, your company, your maybe in some cases your society, your country, you'll get rated as outstanding. Right? So the third lesson which I want to give you, which I want to put here. So one lesson was be a professional, that is one. Second is deliver outside your job description. Third thing which I keep telling everyone is, see, all of us are very blessed, okay, to be here, to be listening to this. One thing you should always keep in mind is try and be the best that you can be. Okay. So I'll give you one story. All of you six hours a day for 20 years. Is don't regret all the missed opportunities which you didn't take, because something was there. Okay, boss, ये हमसे हो नहीं पाएगा, and give up. Sometimes if you push that little bit harder, you'll actually likely to become successful. Okay. How many of you keep a journal? Okay. Why do you keep a journal? Sure. And somebody else lifted it. Yeah, you maintain it. You are the work-life balance. I think to have, because first of all, waking up every day is, you have to be grateful for waking up every day. Not everybody wakes up every day. Right? First. Second is there's a bunch of things we do. We have a job. Good practice because it allows learning, right, continuously. One. This is important. Okay. How many of you are IPL fans? Everyone. Okay. Times has Dhoni won the IPL? 5 times? 5 times? 5? Yeah. So he takes, he just hands it over and makes sure that the rest of the team celebrates. Right? So one important trait of leadership, and all of you are leaders, will become leaders, those of you who are not yet leaders, is to learn to be able to share the credit. It is never I, me, myself. It is the team. And I leave you with an abbreviation for team. Okay. So together, everyone achieves more. Okay. So if we work together as a team, we can deliver outstanding results. Okay. So for those of you, how many of you know this guy called Tendulkar? You all know him. So I've known Tendulkar for 35 years. We started playing in 1989, when most of you were, obviously all of you were not around. Right? But India used to lose more than we used to win throughout the 90s. Okay, why? Because Tendulkar was a great player, best player ever after Bradman, but we didn't have a great team. Okay? So it takes a team to win. Okay? You can do individual brilliance, but always you'll remember in the long run, teams win. And an important characteristic of a leader in a team is to ensure when things go well, it is to the team's credit. Things go badly, I will stand up and say, I screwed up. I mean the leader screwed up. Okay, go on. Okay, this we've talked about at length. Okay. Learning, go on. Okay, how many of you have been formally assigned mentors in your company? Huh? All of you have been assigned. Is it useful? Huh? Does he give you gyan or does he help you? Both? Both are handling. Okay. So, there's a difference between a mentor and a sponsor. It's important to know. So, mentor is someone whom you go to and he gives you advice, gyan occasionally, some help and all that. But a sponsor is someone who will back you to the fullest. Okay, who has your back all the time. Okay. So please reflect on whether the mentors you have today are mentors or sponsors. Get a sponsor. Someone to whom, not just in the job you are in, but forever you are connected. And I've had the singular privilege of having worked with people. I worked, before I started the 2 companies I built, I worked in 3 places. And I'm very, very lucky to say that all 3 places where I worked, after even the last one I worked was 25 years ago, even today, the boss, I'm available for the boss, he's available to me 24/7 for anything, professional personal. So you built a very, very strong relationship and go on. This is important. Okay. So how many of you, when somebody says, listen, we have to solve this, okay? So for example, you want to do a cultural fest, a sports fest at work, right? Or anything else, okay? Some difficult project has come and you have a day job to do, but you have to now volunteer and put in some extra shift to get things done. How many of you actually stand up and say, okay, my own types? Only one, huh? Two. Okay, folks, we need more of you to do this. So I keep saying, do things outside your job description to get ahead in life and so on, right? So the first to follow is starting to lead. Volunteer, step up, take things outside your comfort zone. Okay? If you want to get ahead in life, the important thing is to continuously keep challenging yourself. We don't know, I'm telling you this, we don't know how much we are capable of. Only when we are pushed, when we are stretched, will we actually be able to realize, I can do this. I can do this and I can do this. I didn't know, that I would have been able to do it, but I can do it. So keep pushing yourself. No one knows you better than you. Okay? And no one knows how much potential you have better than you. So push yourself all the time. Okay? This is something which I find a big challenge in Hyderabad, okay? Which is showing up on time. And to me, when you don't show up on time, okay, it's actually, I think the word I use is sloppy. Okay, because let's say there are 5 of you who have to be in a meeting, okay, and the meeting is at 9:30, okay, and you show up like this at 9:40. You get 4 other people waiting. It's not professional. Okay. So if there's one thing I hope we can, all of you young leaders can make a change in Hyderabad, is set an example and show up on time. Okay. If there's a meeting at 9:30, don't tell me traffic is there every day. Yeah? Just plan better. If it's something important to you, you will show up. Okay. If you have somebody tells you come at 10 o'clock and pick up tickets for the IPL match, you will go. So why can't you show up in time for a meeting? So show up in time and take notes. Last. Okay, this is what I talked about Dhoni. And step back when there's a celebration. Move on. This is important. Okay. Learn to separate feedback from the individual. Okay. So when you are giving feedback, give feedback not about the person, but about his behavior, his attitude, about the quality of the work he's doing. Right? And also learn to take feedback. Okay? In general, we all think, particularly young MBA graduates, think हम तो पहुंच गए यार, तो we were right. इतनी 18 साल ना, 18-20 साल तो पढ़ाई किया होगा ना, वो तो बुढ़ा है. So I think the important thing is to learn to take feedback and separate it from the person giving the feedback. So the person giving the feedback can be in general not a great person, but the feedback he may be giving you, learn to take that feedback. It's important. One. Okay. Okay, so this is important. None of us is perfect. Okay, all of us have blind spots. Okay, and as I said, humility is an important characteristic of anybody today. So remember that. Have you heard of this concept called servant leadership? Was that taught in any of your organizational behavior or HR classes? Servant leadership. Okay, read up. You all have Google, right? So go back and Google what is servant leadership. So I think it's important to challenge yourself and don't take anything for granted. What worked today may not necessarily work tomorrow. And learn to ask for help. Okay? too often I have seen young people, okay, it becomes an issue of ego, pride, and so on. If you are stuck, if I go and ask somebody for help, they will say, "Arey, meekenti ye brada, telida inta kuda." Or for those of you who follow Telugu, "Kya itna bhi nahi aata kya tumko?" Or something like that. Learn to ask for help. If you go back and ask somebody for help, in general, 99 times out of 100, if you are coming from a good place, they will give it to you. Learn to ask for help. Go on. This is the last slide which I'm going to close with. We are all very lucky, we are all very privileged to be here. And as I said, 3 things which I leave you with. 1, good professional on a bad day. Be the best that you can be. Third is this one. We all have a responsibility, okay, to leave everything, whether it's a job, anything which you do, okay, leave it in a better place than when you started. If something was here, if you have done this to take it here, then see, people will not know how much money you've made, except if you're an Ambani, right? Nobody knows how much bank balance you have, etc. What people will remember is, have you been a good human? Have you been a thorough professional? Or have you been an outstanding entrepreneur? Have you been a good husband or a good wife? A good brother, a good sister, and a good friend? Right? So just remember that you have a responsibility to leave things in a better place than when you got it. So each one of you, so let's say you decide, I'm going to work in Deloitte for 2 years or 3 years or in Cognizant or wherever you're going to work. Remember, people should say, I'm going to give you one analogy, one cricketing analogy and close. You know this guy called Gavaskar? Old fellow. He should retire actually, but he's still giving commentary. So, Gavaskar's last Test innings was in Bangalore, in 1987. And I remember that day because that was the final exam for us in Bangalore. So we wrote the exam fast, got out, and watched his last innings on TV. So it was probably his best innings. So India was chasing 221 to win against Pakistan. We lost. We lost by 16 runs, 205. Gavaskar made 96. Best innings. The ball was turning miles. Nobody else could put bat on ball, he did. Then after he announced at the end of the day that I'm retiring, people asked him one question. Why are you retiring now? So he said something. He said, you should retire when people ask you why and not why not. Right? Remember that. So when you quit, let's say if you decide to do something else, remember one thing, people should always ask you why you're quitting. Right? That means you've done something valuable to the company which you work. Okay. So thank you for your time and all the best. May you go on to become wonderful leaders and more importantly, wonderful human beings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful speech. A quick grab from sir's speech was, for the students, was to develop learning attitude, to understand sustainable development goals, making the world a better place to live, volunteer, find a purpose in what we do, and act as professionals doing a good job on a bad day. I hope all of you would pick up a few things from this speech. Thank you. Okay, we shall now proceed to the presentation of graduation awards. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the most important and solemn part of the ceremony, the conferral of degrees to our graduates who have successfully completed their academic programs and fulfilled all the requirements of their course of study. I'm happy to announce that 2 memorial rolling trophies have been instituted by our Honorable Secretary, Sri Kishan Badruka ji, to encourage excellence in academics. May I now call upon Ms. Sanjana, along with her parents, onto the dais. I request our Honorable Chief Guest to hand over the prestigious rolling trophy and gold medal in memory of late Shri Hari Prasad Ji Badruka and Shrimati Chandrakala Badruka to the first topper, Ms. Sanjana Mudam of MBA class 2021 to 23. Congratulations, Sanjana. It's a proud moment for all of us indeed. I now call upon Ms. Haripriya Janne along with her parents onto the dais. I request our Honorable Chief Guest along with other dignitaries to present the rolling trophy and silver medal in memory of Sri Srinivas G. Badruka to the second topper, Ms. J. Haripriya of MBA class 2021-23. Congratulations, Haripriya. I now call upon Tejashree Nallamodu along with her parents, if they are available, onto the dais, please. Congratulations, Tejashree. Congratulations to the parents too for all their support. May I now request Hitesh Reddy, Rami Reddy, to be available on the dais. So we have an award for all-round performance being awarded to Professor Mr. Hitesh Reddy, Rami Reddy. I request the parents also to join. We are proud of our graduates and we congratulate them on their remarkable accomplishments. We also acknowledge and appreciate the support and guidance of their families, friends, teachers, mentors, and well-wishers who have helped them reach this milestone. To confer the degrees, I would like to invite Mrs. Aditi Samaddar to come forward and announce the names of the graduates, and Mrs. Sushma Arijala to assist our Honorable Chief Guest in handing out the degrees to our graduates. At this point, may I request our dignitaries to join Sri Srinivas Rao Garu in congratulating our graduates.
Good morning, everyone. As we continue with the convocation ceremony, I will now be joining in to call the students to the stage. Let's begin with Supraja.
Can we have a round of applause for each of them, please?
G. Rahul. Manjunatha. Usha Bala. Khushi Agarwal. Narasimha. P. Mahesh. Bhargavi. Vaishnavi. Rahul Reddy. Amita. Abhinaya. Soumya. Gaurav. Gaurav. Satvik Kumar. Harichandana. Sirisha. Devi Sri Pritam. Vardhini, Rajanandini, Sairam, Divya, Harshvardhan, Viveka Kandaswamy, Vamshi,
बोलने का नहीं रखना है
Snigdha,
बोल के बुला रहे थे
Abhilash, Rakesh Kumar, Rakesh Kumar, Shamila,
वैसे ही हो गई है 1 पॉइंट
Sai Teja, Sai Teja, Nikita Raj, Snigdha, Manikantha, Mehak Verma, Mehak Verma, Vivek, Vivek, Nitish Kumar, Nitish Kumar, Ajay, Ajay, Ravichandrika, Divya, Anudeep, Juvelia, Nitika, Jhansi, Sindhuja, Sindhuja, Shravya, Shravya, Manoj. Maheshwari. Sai Bhavani. Tejaswini. Next will be continued by Mr. Sushma.
Vinay Kumar. The next name is Vinay Kumar. Manisha. M. Srikanth.
Madam, madam.
Mahesh Raju. Karwa Vishnu. K. Vaishnavi. V. Sampat Kumar. Srija. Gautam Surya. Shiva. Machiraju Srinivas. M. Manish Yadav. Varun. P.S. Meghana. Ganesh. Snehalata. Akhila. Vaishnavi. Vaishali. Meghna. Esther.
साइड में मैडम 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 बैठ जाना उधर
C. Meghna.
मैडम
हर्षवर्धन सिंह, प्रियंका, हर्षवर्धन सिंह, चेतन कुमार, शबा खान, श्रेया मिश्रा, श्रावणी,
Request you all to applaud, please.
ईशा जैन, साई प्रिया, ऋतुश्री लोया, शीतल, जीवीएल प्रसन्ना, हारिका, आयशा जरीन, जी देवी प्रिया, सनिधि, श्रवंती, Congratulations to all students. It has been a truly memorable year.
Daily life and conversation. Conduct yourself as worthy members of the institution. Do you solemnly and sincerely promise and declare that to the utmost of your opportunity and ability, you will use your power for the promotion of true learning in the service of your fellow men? Do you solemnly and sincerely promise that you will faithfully and diligently fulfill the duties of the profession to which you will eventually belong, and that you will, on all occasions, maintain its purity and reputation? Thank you and congratulations once again.
We are all proud of you. As you continue with your journey, may you look back to this stage in your life with fondness and pride. Enjoy your day of celebration with your family and friends. Stop, please.
Just need time. Dum dare, dum dare, dum dare, dum dare, dum da, dum dare, dum dare, dare dum dum dum, dum dare, dum dare, dum dare, dum dare, dum da, dare dum dum dum. Yes, I don't know. Superstar fashion ki maaku mass mantramundi. Exams lo na backlogs valla experience entento perigindi. Loading maripo
I thank Honorable Secretary SDGBS, Sri Sri Kishan Badrukaji, for excellent support and guidance for organizing this graduation day event. A special thanks to Honorable Director General SDGBS, Professor Abhirama Krishna, for his constant guidance and valuable suggestions. I would like to express my sincerest thanks to our Director, Dr. Rajshekhar Reddy, for his enthusiastic support in conducting this event. I must also acknowledge the organizing committee, teaching, non-teaching and support staff for their unflinching support and coordination. Heartfelt thanks to our students for active participation, their parents, family and friends who made these 2 years everything they were. Our sincere thanks to the print media for the coverage of the event. Thank you everyone for making this event a great success. Now let's all stand up for our national anthem. I request all the dignitaries, staff, students and parents.
Bye.
DJ Shabir.
लालू सिंह भी है। अच्छा लड्डू नहीं है लाता लेकिन लड्डू होना बोले तो गड़बड़। भिखारियों के ऐसा कर रहा। एक आधा अच्छा
Gracias.